Commvault Cloud Rewind leverages dozens of key public cloud APIs to fully automate backup, recovery, and rebuilds of your cloud environments and applications. Most traditional backup solutions will take care of backing up your virtual machines, data volumes, and possibly your container infrastructure. That only accounts for approximately 30% of the objects necessary to fully restore a cloud application. Traditional backup and recovery does not take into account networking, subnets, VPCs, security groups, or other important cloud constructs that are required to fully restore a public cloud application. Let's run through a quick demonstration of how simple and straightforward it is to create a Cloud Assembly application backup in Cloud Rewind, and then restore and test that application in AWS. Let's begin. Once we're logged into Cloud Rewind, on the main Resilience Hub screen, we can see a glimpse of all of our cloud connections, protected applications, and their protection status. This is helpful for ascertaining the overall health of our cloud backups and the ability for them to be restored properly. Click on Cloud Resilience on the tab to the left, and we will be brought to a screen with a list of our public cloud assemblies. We have one assembly in Azure, but let's create a new one for our clothing store application running in AWS. Click on Create Cloud Assembly, and at the top right, we will be presented with a drop-down menu to choose from the public cloud providers that are available. Click AWS, and we'll be taken to a set of screens to fill out our backup parameters. First, we start with our general information screen. Our cloud assembly will be named AWS Store. Click on the Select Cloud Connection box and choose AWS Connection. Click on Select Primary Region and choose US East Ohio. The recovery region of North Virginia will be chosen automatically, and Allow Cross-Region Recovery will be toggled on automatically. In this case, we only have one VPC to be protected, so it will be automatically selected. We want to back up our entire VPC, and that is the default choice. We can also manually select resources if we only want to back up certain VMs or disks. Cloud Rewind gives us the option of also backing up things like Lambda functions or SNS queues. But we don't have any of those resources in our VPC, so we want to take this option off. Now we need to select a protection policy. We can create our own policies based on backup and recovery RTOs, but in this case, we will choose the standard daily policy. If everything looks good, we can click Finish at the bottom right, and our backup will be configured. Now we're taken back to the summary screen, and after a few seconds, the backup assembly is configured. We'll click Resources, and we'll click List, and we can see all of our resources that have been backed up and are now being protected by Cloud Rewind. We have 11 total resources in 4 categories. This is everything we need to restore a cloud application, which we will prove by running an application restore in a different AWS region. Now that we have created a Cloud Assembly backup plan for our Store Cloud application, let's restore that application and all of its cloud dependencies to a new region in AWS. Cross-region instant restore is invaluable in scenarios where your application's primary region might be down, or when your application has been compromised and you want to restore a healthy version of your application to a different region while you do forensics work on your compromised cloud VPC or virtual machine. Let's start by clicking on Cloud Resilience in the menu to the left. Click on our AWS Store Cloud Assembly. We'll click on our timeline, and here we see some possible restore points. Let's click on the 2-hour restore point. Once on this protection screen, we can review what our application's primary region is, the region it is set to replicate to, and all of the resources that are going to be recovered. In this case, it's 11 out of 11 resources that make up our full cloud application stack. The green checkbox shows that everything is properly protected. Let's run the recovery. Store Recovery will be the name of our recovery. We'll select our recovery profile as Recovery US East 1. And we want to restore our entire assembly. Under Configurations here on the right, you can see that we are restoring cross-region to North Virginia, and we're creating a new VPC. After everything is verified, we can click Recover. We can enable a scheduled reset, which means that at some point in the future, the recovered resources will be shut down and removed. But we want this recovery to run indefinitely, so let's click Recover. We're taken back to the summary screen for our assembly, and the recovery will take a few seconds. Once the green checkmark appears under recovery status, the recovery is complete. If we click on Recovered Resources, we'll see all of the resources critical to the functioning of our application that have been created. Then we can click on Summary to go back to the summary screen. Now that we have recovered our retail store application to a different region, let's verify that everything is working properly in AWS and that our application is up and serving customers. In this screen, we are currently in US East Ohio in AWS. This is the primary region for our application. Our application is currently off. So in this scenario, let's imagine that something went wrong with the region the AWS data center is in, and our store was forcefully brought down. Let's go to North Virginia and verify that our restore via Cloud Rewind worked properly, and that our application is up. We'll click Ohio. We'll go to US East North Virginia. This will bring us to the North Virginia AWS region, and we can immediately see that our application VM is running. Click on our Security tab. We can see our security rules. They've all been restored to this zone along with the virtual machine and all of the other resources needed for our application. If we come back up to the Details tab, we can test that our retail store is up and running by going to the public IP address. So it looks like our retail store is up and running here in Northern Virginia, and we're ready to process transactions. So let's check out a shirt. Let's add it to our cart. So we have successfully added a product to our cart and verified that our store is working after recovering it in just minutes, leveraging Commvault Cloud Rewind. In conclusion, we've just recovered a cloud-native web application and all of its cloud resources to a different region in just minutes. We didn't have to worry about subnets, resource groups, virtual machines, or network configurations. This is just a small example of the speed and simplicity that Cloud Rewind can bring to your backup and recovery strategy. Now that our backup and cloud administrators don't have to worry about maintaining complex recovery scripts and procedures, they can focus on things like business continuity strategy and improving business processes in the public cloud.